Gameplan.com, where football makes sense. I'm Memory Hunt, the czar of the playbook. Bring you our college football game of the week preview between the Texas State Bobcats and the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Now let's take a look at some keys to victory for both teams, starting with the Bobcats.
The Bobcats have put together back-to-back solid defensive efforts, and I love their linebacking core with Michael Orakpo, David Mayo, and Damian McMiller. Those guys not only will have to excel in the running game, but also in the intermediate coverage, as Texas Tech loves to throw the football over the middle. And this is a run-focused offensive attack, so they will line up and run the football consistently throughout the ball game. But quarterback Tyler Arndt must be able to work tight end Brad Miller in the game early. If they can get that play-action pass going, Texas State will be a tough team to beat moving forward. Now let's move over to the Red Raiders in this ball game, and head coach Cliff Kingsbury has done an excellent job so far out there in Lubbock. The offense is like a machine, converting 51% of their third down, so they definitely stay on the field. And that offensive line will have to tighten up this week because they're going against a very tough defensive front of Texas State. Now defensively, they play with great intensity, and this week versus the Bobcats, they can take a few more chances in the passing game. So look for these guys to send extra coming off the edge until the Bobcats can prove they can consistently make plays throwing the football. The X factor for Texas State in this ballgame will be their offensive line. They have a massive offensive front, and I think they can lean on that Texas Tech defensive front seven, and that would allow them to get that ground game going, something that's desperately needed for these guys to get their offense on track. The X factor for the Red Raiders will be the linebacking core. Can they step up, fill those gaps, get these guys off the field, or put them in second and long, third and long situations? If they can do that, it's going to derail a lot of what Texas State wants to do offensively. Now here are some coaching points for both teams in this ball game. For Texas State, they're going to have to maximize their red zone opportunities. When you're able to move the football versus Texas Tech, you have to capitalize in the red zone. And that defensive line must get pressure on that spread attack. If they can't get pressure, it's going to be a long day for that Bobcat defense. And you want to shrink the ball game. You're a run-heavy football team. You then want to force Texas Tech to maximize their own possessions. Therefore, you can get aggressive and perhaps come away with turnovers. Now for the Red Raiders in this matchup, you look at Kerry Hyder versus Devin Baker. That's going to be the biggest battle Texas Tech will have to win up front. If they can win that battle, it goes a long way in them winning the football game. And you want to spread them out to run. Widen out that defense. This is a very good Texas State defense, by the way. You want to widen out that defense and run downhill. And you want to find Jace Amaro early in the ball game. Find the mismatch, move him around the formation, and take full advantage of his pass catching capabilities. Now here are some 2014 draft prospects you want to keep an eye on. When you look at Texas State, like I said before, very good defensive football team, and it's evident by what they have on their roster. DJ Yendry, Michael Orakpo, two transfers that are making immediate impacts. Orakpo is going to be a star. Cornerback Craig Mager is a guy that has excellent ball skills and does a great job in man-to-man coverage. David Mayo, keep an eye on him, senior linebacker, 6'2", 230. And I like the big guard on the interior, Charlie Will Tuttle, an excellent run blocker, does a great job as well in pass protection. For Texas Tech, you look at Kerry Hyder up front. Here's a guy that can play the one technique. He can play the 5 and a 3-4, 6'2", 280. Jason Morrow, a junior, a guy that's a matchup nightmare. He's listed as a wide receiver, but he will play tight end at the next level. And Dartwan Bush, another guy that can bring pressure coming off the edge, could be an ideal outside edge rusher at the NFL level. Claude Mathis was a football legend. Here's a guy that was a 4-time all-conference performer as well as a 4-time All-American throughout the course of his years at Southwest Texas State. And here's a guy that rushed for over 4,600 yards in his career, 7,200 yards in all-purpose yardage, and still owns the record for the most yards in a game with 310. Texas Tech's all-time leading rusher Byron Hansford rushed for over 4,200 yards in his illustrious career, had the speed and the elusiveness, and also posted 7 200-yard games. And in 1996, rushed for over $2 grand. And here's a guy that was also a 1996 consensus All-American and took home the Doak Walker Award. I like Texas Tech in this ballgame. I almost went with the upset with Texas State. Very good football team in the Sun Belt Conference, but I can't trust their passing game to be consistent. They're going to have to throw the football to win. And right now, I like Texas Tech's defense and the ability to get after the quarterback.